A powerful practice to help you get out of the story is the awareness of the body. By just simply being aware of the body. And this is an ongoing practice, meaning throughout the entire day. So it's not something that you are just sitting down and put aside 5 minutes to just simply be aware of the body. But it's an invitation to be aware of the body in the midst of your daily activities. So you see, there's no separation happening here where you carve out some time in the morning and say, this is my spiritual practice. And then you go on and live your 8-hour workday or whatever you're doing. It's this integration of making your life your spiritual practice by just being aware of the body throughout your daily activities. You'll notice that that story slows down, quiets down, and it becomes almost non-existent by just simply being aware of the body. And all that's really happening is there's just an interest in the body. See, there's so much interest right now on thinking. There's so much interest in the story. The story is made of thinking. So the focus is the story. Your center of interest is that which you are focused on. And when people feel like they're so stuck in the story, the center of interest is this me that I believe to be that's in the story. So this me that I believe to be is the center of interest. That story becomes so interesting. And because you're focused on the story, it's magnified. It's all you are focused on. Now, this sustained focus is also called concentration. And concentration is excluding everything except for that which you are focused on. So you see the issue here, that if the center of interest is the me that I believe to be, that is in this story, and now the story is the main focus, and this focus is sustained, you are now concentrating, meaning excluding everything else except for the story. So this suggestion of being aware of the body, you can hear it kind of like an invitation. Just notice the body. Can you just be a little interested in the body? By now being interested in something other than the story, you're now relaxing that focus. That focus isn't so exclusively on the story. You're now aware of the body. And you'll feel this relaxation globally through the entire system. You'll feel this relaxation both mentally and physically. And it's just simply this relaxation of the focus. It's giving you, you could say, something else to be interested on or in, and it's the body. So you're brushing your teeth, and now there's a awareness of the sensations of brushing your teeth, the feeling. So there's really this shift from thinking to feeling by just simply being aware of the body. And like I said, you'll notice this thought activity starts slowing down. It's getting more quiet, but not in the way that you're used to going about it, because how you're going about it doesn't work. By trying to stop thinking, you just simply think more. So we don't want to make thinking the enemy. We don't want to try and exclude thinking. All we're doing is just simply relaxing the focus, and that attention is no longer exclusive. It's now more relaxed and more inclusive. That now you're including the body. You're including the sensations. Touching. So like this is the start of a more all-inclusive attention. By just simply being aware of the body, you start feeling more of this relaxation throughout the body. You also experience that relaxation of the mind. See, when the attention is so narrowed on thinking, it's so tight and restricted. There's a tension that's experienced. By relaxing that tension, by relaxing attention, you feel that relaxation. You feel this softening, this widening of attention, this opening of attention. It's very much like this aperture of a camera. It's very much like the focus of a lens. That by just focusing on one thing, one activity, thinking, it's so sharp. The focus is so sharp. And just like a camera lens being so sharp, it creates that blur effect on the background. It artificially blurs out the background like you see on professional photos. That blurring effect of the background is because the lens is so sharp and it's just focused on one subject. In this case, it's that thinking activity. That there's this sole focus on the story. So we can't just simply stop the thinking. If you've tried that, you know that it doesn't work. So it's more of getting interested in something other than thinking. Now, why do we start with the interest? Well, do you focus on something that you're not interested on? No. See, you're focused on what you're interested in. You're never focused on something that you're not interested in. So, in order to focus on something else, you have to get interested in something else. So if there's an interest in the body, then that focus then shifts away from the activity of thinking, and now it's on feeling the body. Now, when that focus shifts to feeling the body, the attention is no longer attending that story. So you start with just getting interested in the body. And then you start noticing that you're now focused on the feeling of the body. And just like that, you start experiencing more of a relaxation. You start noticing that that story slows down, quiets down. But there's going to be the natural tendency that you get interested in the story again because it's so ingrained, it's so habitual. So this is that practice that plays out throughout the day. The habit is focusing on the thinking activity, which is the story. But throughout the day, can you just get interested in, perhaps, I'm sitting down right now, just the weight of the body, the pressure of your butt in the chair. Can you get so interested in the pressure of your butt in the chair that you want to now not think about, but feel what butt cheek has more pressure in it? Is more weight on your right butt cheek or your left butt cheek? See, this is getting interested in the body. That now you're exploring the body. There's so much of an interest that now you're exploring the body. You're no longer exploring the story. You're exploring the feeling of the body. There's a curiosity. There's a curiosity of pressure and sensation and movement, restriction, tightness, tension. There's so much interest in the body that now you're exploring. It's like an adventure. And you see it changes because you can explore the body when you're just simply sitting, but it's a totally different adventure when you are cutting the grass, at the office, checking the mail, walking the dog. You start to explore the body in the midst of your daily activities. And it's simply by just that first you could say invitation. It's an invitation. So it kind of piques your interest. So I'm inviting you. It's like an invitation. Hey, there's a whole adventure here. Are you interested? In the journey? Are you interested in exploring this? And you see that by accepting that invitation, and starting that exploration, it's as if it's a different world. You're out of your mind. You're no longer drowning in that story. You're free from the story. You're exploring something entirely new, yet it's always here. And you see how you've just been simply ignoring an adventure. And that's really the power of focus. That's really the power of concentration. Is that it can be so narrowed and tight and limited. And have the ability to ignore everything else except for that which you are focused on. And that's the power of your interest. Because whatever you are interested in the most, it will be your main focus. And you could check. What are you interested in? What are you focused on? What are you concentrating on? Well, the answer lies within what you are experiencing. Because what you are experiencing is that which you are focused on, that which you are interested in, that which you are concentrating on. So by just simply being interested in the body, you shift that focus away from the thinking activity. You start feeling the body. It's like a journey of feeling. It's a very intimate journey. Feeling just these very subtle sensations of the body. You start becoming aware of so much happening in the body. Very subtle things. Only because you're just simply interested in the body, focus now on the body, attending the body, that you start noticing. Oh yeah, the lower back, it's kind of tight. And then this takes you then deeper. Maybe you start stretching your lower back, gets you then into that sensation even more. You want to know, well, why is it so tight? Why is it so restricted? You follow that tightness up into the mid-back, or you follow it into the glutes. All of a sudden, you're twisting. You're bending. So like I said, it's this exploration. One thing just simply leads to the other. Or it looks like doing all the same activities that you were doing before. Brushing your teeth, changing diapers, driving the kids to school, going to the office, walking the dog, checking the mail. All of these different things. And you start noticing that you can be aware of the body while cooking. And by being aware of the body while cooking, it feels like such an intimate experience. There's a higher quality to the experience. You start noticing that this activity of cooking slows down in a way. It's very quiet. There's less stress. It's more relaxing. There's a joy. And there's just so much awareness of the body. The feeling as you're cutting, chopping, preparing the meal. You're aware of the footwork in the kitchen. You're just aware of the body, the weight, the posture. You're aware of so much that you were simply ignoring. And this simple just shift by just being aware of the body just draws the attention away from thinking into feeling the body. So you're not trying to stop thinking. That activity of thinking just quiets down. It just slows down. There's no goal or expectation that it disappears completely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's more than just thinking. It's just simply being ignored. Because the thinking is valued so much. Because there's so much interest in it. The thinking is valued. The thinking is now the point of interest. But what if you start valuing this? What if you start being interested in this? What if you start exploring this? We see it's a different experience. You start having this contrast that, when I'm actually just aware of the body, everything's a little slower, more calm, more relaxed, spacious, enjoyable. There's a natural curiosity. It's as if you're learning so much, but you're learning so much not by thinking about it, but by experientially exploring. It's this bridge from the conceptual to the experiential. There's an exploring the body without the mind. You're not telling a story how you're exploring the pressure in your feet, the bend in the knees, the twisting of the spine. You're not telling a story about that. It's just a experiential exploration. You're just simply aware of it. And you start noticing that the quality of these daily activities is completely transformed. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's this gradual process. Things that people say is, yeah, I'm just more present now. Because this thinking is past and future. But by just exploring the body that is here now, in the midst of the daily activities, it's very accurate when people say, yeah, I feel like I'm more present. Because the attention is no longer going to the past and future, past and future. The attention is just simply attending that which is present. It's not exclusively fixed on concepts. The story is conceptual. Concepts are made of thought. You can explore this body without thinking. So as this is happening through the daily activities, you start noticing that all of these activities are just simply being experienced, the same activities. You don't need to change them up. The same activities are just being experienced with less stress. Because this relaxation is the opposite of stress. When I say that it's just a slower experience, there's this feeling that it's just slowing down. Because there's no rush. There's only a rush because of the thinking of the next thing, somewhere where you need to go. So there's always this rushing, this hurrying, because the attention is always going on the future. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? So there's a feeling of a slowing down and relaxing by just simply being aware of the body. And as this continues, we won't go too far with it, but I'll just add one more thing. But as this continues, you start really enjoying this. You start really enjoying this relaxation, this calmness. You enjoy slowing down. You enjoy feeling the body. There's this natural shift. Like I said, it's not like you're making thinking the enemy, but you're naturally getting interested in feeling the physical body, and feeling those sensations are then drawing the attention, you could say, or the attention is going into those sensations on a deeper level. So now you start exploring more subtle perceptions. Like I said, the awareness of the body is just the invitation. But you're starting to explore it and go deeper and deeper. Your exploration deepens. And as your exploration deepens, you're noticing that which is more subtle, these subtle perceptions. And it's almost like this feedback loop, because now your exploration is deepening. There's more curiosity, which then you explore deeper. And you're also noticing that this kind of feedback loop is propelled, you could say, by the joy of it. It's just the joy of the exploration. You enjoy exploring, you're exploring more, the exploration deepens, noticing something that's more subtle. You enjoy it, so you explore more, and like that, it just keeps going. And eventually, you sort of forget what it was like to be just simply immersed in this one activity of thinking. It's like you forget what that was like to be worrying all the time, stressing about something, dwelling on the past, bitter about what happened yesterday, afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow. All of that just starts disappearing. It's as if it's hard to recreate that. It's hard to experience it again. But you see that you're actually interested in, you could say at this level, something else other than thinking. So it starts with that invitation. It's the invitation to just be aware of your body more. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.